Hi, and welcome to another dose of virtual vitamin Z. This is DZS News for the week of October 4th, 2021. I'm your co-host, Stephen.
And I'm your co-host, Claire. And Stephen, I'm not sure how we made it into October already, but let's jump into some Detroit Zoological Society updates. What do we have this week?
Well, to get started, we have a really exciting announcement. The Detroit Zoological Society has received an award, which is always really awesome. And this is an award that recognizes our commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility. And specifically, it's an award that recognizes our efforts at making transportation more accessible, transportation to the zoo, through things like our Zoom to the Zoo initiative, which I know during the pandemic, you think of Zoom, you think of, like virtual meetings. But Zoom to the Zoo is actually a way in which we are recognizing and awarding people for taking bus transportation to the zoo, where we actually help them contribute to their cost of admission, and then also give them some cool hookups while they're here, things like free soft drinks and that kind of stuff.
It's cool because, not only is it addressing our diversity, equity, inclusion, and accessibility, but it's also addressing sustainability by the use of public transportation. So it's checking a lot of boxes, and it really is a really great initiative, working with those local bus systems to make sure that people who would like to come to the zoo have access without having to walk far distances, and it's on the fast line of SMART, which is really cool. So great recognition for a great program that certainly is opening up the DZS to more of our community.
Yeah, definitely. And I love that point you made about how it's when you try to, address accessibility, you can also address sustainability.
Yeah.
And just it's great to see the way in which our pillars can sort of intersect in that way.
They do, lots of overlaps. A Venn diagram. If we were back in elementary school, we'd be making a Venn diagram of success. A reminder that Zoo Boo starts this Friday. It'll run for the next 3 consecutive weekends, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays from 2 to 6 o'clock. You can buy your tickets online, but I would encourage you to do so soon as it is starting to fill up. Last I heard, it was more than 50% full, and that was about a week ago. So do book your tickets for Zoo Boo. You'll have access to the entire zoo. You'll be able to come in. You'll get a treat bag during your visit instead of our traditional treat stops. So we have one-stop shopping there for all of your treat pickups. And again, you'll be able to see the animals during the day. We have some fun educational activities lined up for you out on the zoo path. So always a fantastic time. Make sure your little ones and you dress up if you'd like to come out for Zoo Boo.
And I recently found out that the education department will be doing a display in which we'll be featuring a small fairy and gnome village. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. And it is a bit of a competition, so be sure to vote for ours. We'd really appreciate it. Also, emphasizing this is a merry, not scary event. So if you're like me and not a huge fan of scary things, that's okay, because Zoo Boo is going to be merry.
That's me. I'd rather have a merry Halloween than a scary Halloween.
Next up, if you are interested in joining Claire and me and a whole bunch of other people in working for the Detroit Zoological Society, good news, the DZS is currently hiring, and we have a pretty wide range of positions that we are looking to fill, ranging from positions in guest relations to life sciences and all sorts of things in between. So be sure to check out our website and go to the job section for that. We are also happy to announce that Service Systems Associates, which is our partner that runs our concessions and groundskeeping, things like that, they are also looking to hire. So lots of job opportunities available. And as you can probably tell from both Claire and my just attitudes, it's a pretty cool place to work. So definitely check those out.
It's a great place to work. All right. And hey, maybe you already have like a fantastic job that you love, but you still want to contribute to the Detroit Zoological Society. We are always accepting volunteers. You can find more information on the DetroitZoo.org website for that too. So even if you want to come out and join us for the weekends to help support Zoo Boo or Wildlights, we would love to have you, because all of these events take a lot of staff and volunteers to make happen. So please check us out if you're looking for something to do on a weekend evening. We'd love to be your source of entertainment for the evening. Great way to see Wildlights too, volunteering.
Definitely, yeah. And so speaking of wild lights, Claire, what's going on with that?
Wildlife tickets are on sale. If you haven't seen them already up on the zoo's website, I would really encourage you to go and check them out. We anticipate this event will sell out on most nights. So choose your evening that you want to come out early. You can select the time and date that works best for you. It's a fantastic event. More than 5 million lights light all the different pathways of the Detroit Zoo. You loop around back by table 28 in the Arctic Ring of Life and head back towards the front. There's music. It's just a fantastic way to spend the holidays with family, on your own, with loved ones. A great way to connect. I come out with my family from out of town quite often. We spend the afternoon, evening here out at the zoo. It's just really nice. The team's been putting up lights since I think August. And you'll be able to see the fruit of all of their labors here very soon. So buy your wildlife tickets soon and make sure you can join us for this fantastic event. I think there's 40 nights to choose from. So make sure you get in there and choose the best out of the 40 for your schedule.
Yeah, and it's always exciting just spending the months leading up to Wildlight, seeing the team just putting so much effort into putting those lights up. It is a huge initiative, and I'm personally really excited this year. I've seen some of the setup, and I think it's going to be really, really cool. So definitely check it out.
Yeah,
Not
I was
to be missed.
sneaking peeks at the sculptures, and they're pretty phenomenal. I think the sculptures are one of my favorite parts. So I don't want to give anything away, but they're pretty cool. Stephen, back to you for our humane tip of the month.
This is that time of year, one of my favorite times of year. This is that time of year where every day that you wake up, you can go and check out the trees around you and see if they started turning color yet. And I know some of them have, others are just about to. And so our humane tip of the month this month is to not take that for granted, to really take advantage of and appreciate the fact that we live here in Michigan in this space where trees do this incredible thing every year of changing colors into these beautiful reds and yellows and oranges. And so the tip is to find one tree or maybe find a few trees. And ideally, these would be trees that haven't started turning color yet, that still have green leaves. And every day, go ahead and spend a minute or two just observing that tree and see if you can catch that exact moment, that exact morning when you wake up and that tree has started changing color. And then just see how that tree kind of explodes with these, I've heard them described and think it's really apt as flames, kind of candles, And so check that out. All right, Claire, back to you for our feature story.
So this is an exciting one and the one that's really close to my heart. I've always been following the piping plover sagas that continue, and the Detroit Zoological Society has been involved in many, many years worth of ensuring that this small population continues to grow. So we've had our season for this year. The shorebirds are taking off and going down south. So these are species that breed and hold their nests up on the beaches along the Great Lakes. And lots of things impede their ability to successfully raise their young. Humans using the beaches, development, even dogs off leashes, high water levels, all of these things are possibilities that the eggs might get destroyed or washed away. So the Detroit Zoological Society works with the United States Fish and Wildlife Service to help continue to grow this population. And when eggs are found abandoned or in locations that we know that they're not going to survive, they're collected and incubated. The last 2 years, this year and last year, they were incubated and hatched here on the Detroit Zoo campus. And then the chicks were released back onto the different Michigan shorelines that they came from. So the increase has been incredible. So in 1986, there was about 17 breeding females. And in 2021, we have numbers about 74. So that's a pretty significant increase. And 2020 was a very successful year for our team. But that also meant there was large numbers of abandoned eggs, which is a bad year in the field. So this year was completely opposite, which is better, which means more eggs were able to be raised out in the field, which is what we really want to happen. So we successfully reared and returned 13 chicks. But this decrease is actually a good thing overall for the population because it means like their population is stabilizing in the natural world and that our rescue efforts are starting to pay off. So there's a whole press release available at DetroitZoo.org if you want to learn a little bit more about it. We've done a couple videos about it over the year, but really an incredible program that the Detroit Zoo has been involved in for some period of time with fantastic success that we have to share out with you all this year. So kudos to the entire team that makes that happen. It's a huge endeavor. Lots of work goes into that. And we have a very talented animal care staff who are very, very dedicated to making sure those birds have the best possible start.
Claire, one of the things that makes me think of is, in talking about balances, for example, with the SMART initiative, kind of achieving our goals for accessibility and sustainability at the same time. In terms of conservation and animal welfare, like it's a great conservation success story that these 13 chicks were able to be returned to the wild. But also, if you just think about animal welfare and how each individual animal matters, even if it were just one chick, that would be an incredible success story, because that one chick was able to not just survive, but thrive. And so, multiply that by 13 or whatever factor you want. It's pretty incredible.
Absolutely. I think that's a great way to frame it, Stephen. All right, let's check out our virtual education program preview for the week. As always, we are starting you off with DZS News at 11 a.m. on Monday.
Next up, we have a Saving Wildlife episode on the Amphibian Protectors Club, which is pretty exciting.
Straight out of Peru, I'll be bringing you all the inside information on that. On Wednesday, October 6th, is our virtual habitat chat featuring the Cotton Family Wetlands. Always a great place to visit on your visit to the zoo.
Following that, on Thursday, we have an animal welfare tale on Astra and Lerka, the two polar bear cubs who have had pretty different lives, but also, pretty great lives, both of them. So it's going to be exciting to look at that.
And we'll wrap up the week with our new series for October, Be Aware, Not Afraid, where we'll go through and address some different misconceptions that people hold about different animal species, address those misconceptions, and hopefully start to dispel some of them so we can have more awareness and less afraidness.
Kind of our theme for October, right? Like October doesn't have to be scary, whether you're going to Zubu or watching a episode of Virtual Vitamin Z. So speaking of Virtual Vitamin Z, in addition to our weekly programming, we have programming available on the Belle Isle Nature Center's website, the Virtual Backyard, which includes tips and tricks for connecting with nature in your local green space, whether that's a backyard or a park or a front yard or wherever. We also have some great offerings of Virtual Vitamin Z on the zoo's website, and those include things like pre-recorded lessons, and those lessons are complete with skill sheets that include some of our target outcomes if you're a teacher looking to include some of that programming in your teaching. We also have some other opportunities for people who are just a little bit more curious, and the Virtual Vitamin Z that we offer on our social media, maybe it whets your appetite and you want to to delve a little bit deeper. We've got some great offerings there on our website, DetroitZoo.org.
All right, that's everything we have this week. So until next week, stay healthy, Detroit.